shop vac versus dust collector. So a shop vac is a machine, you can see it in woodworking shops or your home, you have in your shed or your garage. You pull out and you pick up all the water mess or even the sawdust or dry. A dust collector picks up a lot of sawdust. Now let's get into the dust collection in the shop vac. So a shop vac, they're a smaller little machine, they're a little smaller, and if you're sanding doing more than things with it, you have to disconnect the shop vac, hook up to something different, like a planer, for example. You want to hook that up. I don't even know if there's a port for that, or even, let's use the miter saw. So a miter saw, for example, when you're cutting your wood with the miter saw, even the table saw, or even the belt sanders, or even the table routers, or like that. So first thing is, like that type of stuff, a dust collector will come in handy. Like maybe say like a scroll saw, because they have a smaller port, a shop vac will come in handy. Will not work. What's not gonna really work, so there are some machines you can't have, like some sand, like the spindle sander, they don't have a dust collection portion on there. A bandsaw does. If you talk about all these tools right here, and you're thinking what's the best tool to get machine to use, like a sawzall, for example. So a sawzall, a circular saw, and a jigsaw, they're handheld tools and you don't really need it. So, and a belt sander, the portable ones, can hook up a regular shop vac. A dust collector, it might be a little too much. A dust collector has more power than a shop vac. The horsepower, and I saw in my last video, it's not a peak horsepower, it's a total horsepower. So they have a slow startup because they're huge machines, they're big, huge motors, and they have a huge fan inside. So when you're picking, there's a grate in there, so that anything big, like a big, huge piece of wood, wouldn't damage the fan. Metalworking, you shouldn't use it for metalworking because it will damage the machine itself. There are special machines out there for metalworking. Plastic working, probably not. You can actually use, if you have like broken pieces of plastic, it will chop it up inside of it because there's a metal fan inside. You can throw a whole Barbie doll and it'll be chopping the thing up, and it'll go shoot it right into the basket, or the bag. So dust collectors have more power than shop vac, and I don't have a dust collector, so I don't do stuff like that. I'm putting it in on this channel. If you're wondering what will be better, if you have a shop, if you want a dust collector, or you want to have a shop vac, what's gonna last longer? A dust collector might last more, have a better lifespan than a shop vac. And you cannot pick up water with a dust collector. It will rust the impeller out, the fan blades, or the impeller we call it. And there are portable ones up to the big, huge ones you see, like Micro Mill and other companies. They're huge. And you're comparing that to the small dust collectors you see in a shop. And you open up, let's say your garage, you have a dust collector from Jet, Grizzly, or Shopvac. And Pen Tools don't even sell a dust collector from their company. So Pen Tools don't even sell it, and they probably wouldn't sell. So if you're randomly, say all you people that randomly sand things down, you shouldn't use a dust collector, first of all, because number one, you're going to damage the impeller, and it might have some issues with it. Or so you have to use like a vacuum. A Lee Yard vac, that'll work, but you're going to hear all that stuff getting chumped up every time. First thing is, the combat braces will have like a feed inside of it. It'll chomp the whole thing up to pieces. That thing has teeth in there. And if you, let's say if you have a combat braces sanding belt and you throw it in a vacuum that has a mulcher in it, it will get destroyed, first of all. Because first thing, anything can get destroyed by a shredder, first of all. And remember, dust collectors don't have those type of blades, so anything too big will break. And there are some machines that will not accept a dust collector, like the Harbor Freight belt sander. It does not accept a dust collector. It only accepts like probably a shop vac or something like that small. If you got a Jet version of it, it'll accept a dust collector because they know they want to make sure all their machines that hook up to a dust collector. Every machine that you have in your shop will hook up to the dust collector. Anything handheld or drill press wouldn't. How much it'll cost to buy a dust? So they're more expensive if you get a professional version. You get a cheap version, like the up to like the ones from Harbor Freight. They'll do a good job. But here's the issue is if you want something better built quality, you have to spend the extra money to get the better quality machines, because you will know better quality works than the other qualities. If you're going outside, so yeah, why is it better? It was way better in a shop vac, because you know what? Certain belts, industrial belt centers accept dust collectors, and they have these huge tubes coming right through. Ram Orbital sanders, the one I have, wouldn't accept the dust collector, and even doesn't even accept the shop vac. So it does not accept it. I don't know why it does. So it has its own dust collection. How much it'll cost to buy? So I already sold their expensive things, their expensive piece of equipment. And how about for it will not work for a water jet cutter that has a less mess than those other tools. It's probably the best tools you can ever buy, because they use less mess. And how about if theirs goes up to 47 horsepower, that would probably take a whole trailer park away. So it'll suck a whole trailer park into the vacuum. And they're powerful machines. They are very powerful. And this is only just for the dust collectors. They're very powerful machines. If you're very interested of a dust collector, I'll put links below for a dust collector if you actually want a dust collector. And I don't really do dust collectors. So this is the only video I'm posting on YouTube that will only have this versus this with dust collector, because I don't do dust collectors. I really don't do them. I don't do wood shop stuff. I do shop vacs, but I don't really do dust collectors because I don't do them. So remember, so if you want to see a dust collector versus a household vacuum, I probably can do it. So if you want to see if you want to see a dust collector in action, I don't have a dust collector, and I don't really do dust collectors. So some vacuum collectors out there won't even want to collect the dust collector. I told them if I asked them for a dust collector, they probably wouldn't do it, because number one, it's a tool, and I just want to post on it. If you're very interested in getting a dust collector, I don't know, it's not first thing a dust collector. Let me talk every information to your brain. If you want to know any information about a dust collector is not good you can't vacuum a whole house with it, number one. Number two is it's noisy, and there's a huge hose. The hose is it's huge. Thing is like a 4-inch hose. You can actually fit probably like a kid's diaper right through that thing. You'll get chumped up. Third, they don't get clogged up. First of all, they're anti-clog, and you can pick up how many things you need because they're powerful. And I don't really do machines like that, because number one is it's not really a machine that you don't use around your house. You use around your shop. A shop vac you can use around. So a shop vac be good for cleaning up after all that stuff, using your planner, other stuff. I don't talk about power tools too. I don't talk about them. I really, really don't. And first of all, I really don't talk about them as much. And they're kind of dangerous too. And one more thing is, there's probably some videos out there about power tool safety, and they don't put a sander in there. Number one, a sander. They don't put dust collector or sander in there because people probably think they're the safest machine ever. So first thing is, I'll be talking about that on my other channel, my main channel. So remember that if you want to see the power tool video safety and what they don't actually talk about. And that's all it for this. So which is the winner for this video? And I don't have a winner because number one is I was talking about power tools in this part. I want to get to the winner. So, to all the information, you want more power tool information, there will be YouTube, Google search power tools if you want to learn about. If you're on the wrong, first thing is, if you're watching this video and this is not interested, you're on the wrong channel. If you don't want to learn about shop vacs versus dust collectors, you're on the wrong channel. So first of all, if you want to learn about it, you actually can. Remember, I don't do dust collectors. This is the only video I'm doing. Remember that. So a dust collector. They're really good pieces of equipment. I don't have one, and I wouldn't want one, first of all. They're good machines. They're perfect to have, and that's all it. So when you be talking about dust, so some shop safeties, they don't talk about it because number one is the fans inside of it. So there's a fan that spins that cleans all the air, and that's all that type of stuff for it. And before I do talk about which is better, I'll have a little more information. If you don't know about my channel, I do a lot of vacuum reviews, vacuum versus, and I do I do tons of shop vac videos out there. I help you with shop vacs. Mainly that's it, just shop vacs. So it's a fun thing. I feel like a lot of people want a shop vac. They always feel like a lot of people come to this channel because they always want a shop vac. They are interested in getting one, or all these vacuum collectors want one. If you're a vacuum collector, you can probably put a dust collector. It is a vacuum. You can actually put a dust collector in your vacuum collection if you actually want to. It's not weird at all. If you really do want a dust collector in your vacuum collection, you probably can. If you're a vacuum collector, probably sees this video, wants a dust collector, you probably can. But they're big machines. So I do a lot of shop vacs. I do some vacuum videos, all other stuff. So remember, dust collectors are good machines, and the winner is a dust collector has more power. That's going to be it.